Fam, what's up, the squad? It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies in the building. Welcome back to Cess Talks Sports. Shout out to all my loyal fam tuning in. And if you're new, welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you're in the loop, and make sure to like, comment, and share this video with everyone down to talk women's hoops. Today, y'all, I'm talking about the NCAA women's basketball net rankings. I'm going to explain in detail the who, what, when, where, how, and why behind this critical system that determines how teams are ranked and selected for the NCAA tournament. Whether you're a coach, player, or fan, understanding the net rankings is crucial to following the game. Before we dive in, let me explain why we're breaking this down here on Cess Talks Sports. Across all of our shows and platforms, we spend a lot of time discussing polls, rankings, and performances in NCAA women's hoops. But it's important that we're all on the same page about how the net rankings are determined, why they matter, and what they mean for evaluating team performances. The net gives us a standardized, data-driven way to discuss, compare, and rank teams throughout the season. By understanding this system, we can have clearer, more informed conversations about which teams are truly performing at the highest level and how their resumes stack up as March Madness approaches. With that said, let's break it down. First off, what are the net rankings, right? NET stands for NCAA Evaluation Tool. It's a primary sorting tool used to evaluate Division I women's basketball teams for NCAA tournament selection and seeding. But unlike a simple win-loss record, the net rankings are much more sophisticated. They consider the following: game results, which include the outcome of each game; strength of schedule, which is how tough your opponents are; game location, whether the game was played at home, on the road, or a neutral site; net offensive and defensive efficiency, how efficiently a team scores points versus how efficiently they stop their opponents; and quality of wins and losses. Not all wins and losses are equal. Beating a top team is much more valuable than beating a weaker one. Together, these factors create a comprehensive snapshot of a team's performance and strength. This helps ensure the teams are ranked fairly based on not just winning, but also on how they perform and whom they compete against. The system is objective, meaning it removes much of the bias that can occur when relying solely on a human eye test or opinion-based rankings. So who uses the net rankings? The net rankings are primarily used by the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee. This group determines which 68 teams will make it into the tournament, including those 36 at-large bids for teams that don't win their conference championships. The selection committee's job is to create a balanced and competitive tournament bracket. The net rankings help them fairly assess each team's resume and strength. However, it's not just the committee that uses the net rankings. Other key users include coaches. They may use it to measure their teams against competitors and player strategies for scheduling and improving performance. Media outlets, of course, analysts and commentators use these rankings to predict tournament outcomes and compare teams. Fans, for those following their favorite teams, the net provides a clear picture of where they stand in the national rankings. And players, they can use the net rankings to give themselves a transparent metric to evaluate their own performance and their team's trajectory. In short, the net is a tool for everyone invested in women's college hoops every season. When are the net rankings released? Now let's talk about timing. The net rankings are first released in early December. From that point on, they're updated daily until Selection Sunday, which I think this year is on March 17th, which is where the final rankings play a big role in determining the NCAA tournament bracket. Here's why the timing matters. Early December releases are preliminary because the season is still young. Teams have played a limited number of games, and the net rankings may produce some outliers. As the season progresses and teams play more games, the rankings stabilize, becoming much more reliable and reflective of a team's overall quality. By March, with hundreds of games factored in, the net rankings provide one of the most accurate measures of team performance available. You can find the daily updated net rankings on NCAA.com and NCAA.org. These sites offer a wealth of information, including team records, stats, and historical trends. How do the net rankings work? So the net rankings are driven by two major components: adjusted net efficiency. This measures the difference between a team's offensive and defensive efficiency, calculated as points scored per possession versus points allowed per possession. Adjustments are made based on the opponent's strength and where the game was played, home, away, or neutral. For example, a win on the road against a strong opponent will have a bigger impact on your ranking than a win at home against a weaker team. Team Value Index. This is a result-based metric that rewards teams for winning games against strong opponents and is also the second major component factored into the net rankings. It accounts for who you beat and where you beat them. For instance, a road win against a Quad 1 team will significantly boost your ranking. Additionally, wins or losses are categorized using the quadrant system. Quad 1, that's the highest quality game. Example, beating a top team on the road. Quad 2, that's good wins, solid competition. Quad 3, less impressive wins or close losses. And Quad 4, wins against weaker opponents or bad losses. Teams want to maximize their Quad 1 wins and minimize Quad 3 and 4 losses, because those are critical when the selection committee evaluates a team's resume. The net system ensures that the teams are rewarded not just for winning, but for winning against strong competition and performing efficiently. Why were the net rankings created? You might be wondering, why did the NCAA move to the net system in the first place? Before the 2020-2021 season, women's basketball relied on Ratings Percentage Index, the RPI, which was introduced in the 1980s. However, RPI had limitations. It was based mainly on winning percentage and strength of schedule, but it didn't account for game location, meaning home, away, or neutral, and efficiency, how well teams performed on offense and defense. With advancements in analytics and data, the net provides a more accurate and fair tool for evaluating teams. The shift to net ensures a better comparison between teams, a stronger emphasis on performance, not just wins and losses, and a system that reflects the evolving data-driven nature of basketball. The net algorithm was specifically developed using 10 years of historical women's basketball data. This result is a tool tailored to the women's game, ensuring fair evaluations based on performance and results. How are the rankings used? While the net is one of the most critical tools, the NCAA Selection Committee considers many other factors during the tournament selection process, including head-to-head matchups, strength of schedule, significant wins and bad losses, conference and non-conference records, performance over time, and common opponents. The committee uses team sheets that summarizes all of this information, and while the net is a significant factor, it is not the only data point. The goal is to ensure fairness and balance in selecting the best teams for the NCAA tournament. What about running up the score? That's a question that comes up often. Does running up the score improve a team's net ranking? Short answer, no. Net focuses on per possession efficiency, meaning teams are rewarded for consistent performance over the entire game, not just big margins of victory. The goal is to play fundamental basketball, score efficiently on offense, and stop the opponent on defense. If you want to dive deeper into the net rankings, head to the NCAA.com or NCAA.org. These sites provide daily updates, explanations, and access to resources for coaches, fans, and media. Additionally, tools like KenPom.com, Bartovic.com, and ESPN's BPI, Basketball Power Index, provide other predictive and results-based metrics that the committee may also reference. To recap, the net rankings are a sophisticated, modern system that evaluates women's college basketball teams based on game results, strength of schedule, efficiency, and more. They're updated daily starting in December and are a cornerstone of the NCAA tournament selection process. While the net is critical, the selection committee uses multiple data points to ensure a fair and competitive bracket. By understanding the net, fans, players, and coaches can better appreciate the nuances of team rankings and what it takes to secure a spot in March Madness. Thanks for tuning in, and keep watching to see how the rankings evolve as the season progresses. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and jump in this conversation. If you my regular fan, make sure you hit that like on the way out. If you didn't hit it on the way in, and y'all know what it is. Until next time, stay tuned. Talk soon. I'm out.